One thing we haven't talked about so far is how to use slots in render functions. So I've brought back our really simple example here where we just have a span with some styling that renders hello world. Say we wanted to move this hello world text into a slot that was passed in by the parent. Like out here where we have this hello world component, say we want to say hello universe instead of hello world. How do we get access to this content from inside of our render function? Well, Vue actually exposes all of a component's slots through a special this.$slots property. We can grab any slot we want from this property by asking for it by name. So an unnamed slot comes in as default, and then any slots with custom names come in with their custom names, like header or footer or whatever you've used. So if we want to render the contents of the default slot as the children of this component, we just need to get rid of this text, throw an array in here, and then inside this array, we just want to render this.slots.default. And now you can see that the text has updated to be the text that we passed in from the slot. Well, what about scoped slots? What if we wanted to pass some data from the hello world component up to the app component that it could use inside of the slot? Well, remember how I talked about slots being like values and scoped slots being like functions? Well, it turns out scoped slots literally are functions. We can access a scoped slot by asking for Vue's scoped slots, then asking for the default scoped slot, and then invoking that as a function, passing through any props. So say we wanted to be able to pass through the subject that we're greeting here. So maybe we have a key like subject and we say universe. And now if we head back to app.vue, we can wrap this in a template tag, move hello universe up inside of it. And now we can destructure the subject from the slot scope and reference it inside of our slot. So here we can just say hello subject instead of hello universe. And now, with any luck, we can see hello universe appears here. And if we go here and we pass back world instead, well, now if we refresh, we see hello world instead of hello universe. Now, there's another really interesting thing that we can do with render functions and slots. And to demonstrate how it works, let's make a slight tweak to our app.vue template here. Instead of using a template tag, why don't we render like a strong tag or something? So now we've got a stronger version of hello world. Let's head over to the render function here for hello world. I'm going to copy this chunk of code where we're invoking that scoped slot. And up here, I'm going to log it. So let's clean up our indentation here, head over here and refresh and check out the console. So see, what we have here is a vnode. Remember when I said that all we need to do with a render function is return a vnode? Well, since invoking a scoped slot gives us back a vnode directly, that means that if we wanted to, we could actually just return the result of invoking this scoped slot. We could get rid of all of this stuff, and now we just get a strong tag with hello world in it. And if we go ahead and check out the dev tools here, you'll see that we're actually just rendering this strong tag directly. Let's check out app.vue for a second. You can see here's the div with text center P8 and MY8. That's this div here. And now here's our strong tag, and that's living right here. There's no tag in between div or strong. So hello world is actually sort of like an invisible component. It's not actually rendering any of its own markup at this point. All it's doing is rendering exactly what we pass to it. But the interesting thing is that it's able to provide us some data that we can use. So we could change this to something like an H1, and now we're just going to see an H1 rendered directly here, but it's receiving the subject from this sort of invisible component. In the next lesson, we're going to explore some of the interesting possibilities that this discovery opens up for us.